Okay, so what's the really bad take that everybody has to have these days? Well, it's we have to ally with the right wing against the FBI. Because how it was always back the blue until Trump gets investigated, then all of a sudden it's defund the FBI. And this is a position that we hold, so we should naturally ally with them on it. Except that this is outright idiotic. No, I'm sorry. This isn't even just a bad idea. It's downright stupid. Your idea is bad, and you should feel bad. Let me explain something to you. They don't actually want the FBI defunded. They don't have a principled position. All they want is for them to leave Trump alone. Did you forget the part where they not only were okay with, but openly celebrated when the police killed people, particularly black people? Now that they're mad at the FBI and are saying to defund them, even though that's not going to be a thing they're actually going to fight for, they're not going to do that. They're not going to start voting for candidates that will defund the FBI. This is not a principled position. This is just a knee-jerk reaction to their guy getting criticized for breaking the law and attempting to overthrow the country and install a fascist dictatorship. Now, if you could stop allying with the people who want a fascist dictatorship to be installed into the country, that would be great. Because those people are the enemy, in case you have forgotten. And that seems to be a very big thing that is being forgotten. A lot of people are now trying to push us, we have to ally with the right now against any little criticism that they happen to make that's even partially right. Just because Tucker Carlson doesn't want to spend money on war in Ukraine doesn't mean he's anti-imperialist. Keep in mind, he was perfectly just as happy to see Qasem Soleimani die. And remember, he was fighting against ISIS. You see, people seem to keep forgetting that. Just because you have like this one guy who says that they don't want to go to war, that doesn't make them anti-imperialist. They don't even know what anti-imperialism is. They're not against wars because they keep supporting them when they happen. They just happen to choose one or two that they don't want to be in support of. Anti-imperialism means being against the U.S. going to war against any country, but you seem to have forgotten that. This is a goddamn plague that seems to be going around the first world left supporting this nonsense. And there's a reason why it's the first world left that's doing it, and there's a very good explanation. Let me explain another point to this. You can't defund the FBI any more than you can defund the police. You're not going to make them softer, kinder, gentler under capitalism, because their essential function remains the same. You can't abolish them with their own system. Part of the most basic fundamental concepts of Marxism is that capitalism can't be reformed. It can't be used to abolish itself. That's why revolution is necessary. The fact that we're even having this discussion, even though it was already proven back in the 1840s, is symptomatic of a problem. And it is perfectly exemplified by first world people and liberals. Liberals, I would expect to do it regardless of where they are. But for Marxists to be doing it, it's overwhelmingly the first world. Why is that? Well, look again. Once again, first worldists are looking for a way to cooperate with the system. They're looking for a way to do something without having to actually overthrow the system. Because that's the point. First worldists don't want to actually overthrow the system. They keep saying that. But then then they keep doing things that are the opposite of that. Part of third worldist theory is recognizing that first world people don't actually want to overthrow the system. And it's even laughable to most first world people, because they have so much to lose by doing so. In case you haven't noticed, When revolution has happened, it was from people who had nothing left to lose. There was nothing else but revolution. Revolution was the only solution. The Paris Commune, World War I Russia, semi-feudal China, Batista Cuba, torn apart Korea and Vietnam. Revolution was the only solution. There was not going to be anything else you could do. And that's kind of the point. Which is why I've argued resistance in the first world, revolution in the third. But when I say resistance in the first world, I don't mean fucking collaborate with the enemy. It's incredible that this is something that's still being argued to this day. They're always looking for excuses to not do revolution or not argue for revolution. Now, you could be a complete coward group and just not support revolution because you're afraid that the state will come down on you. Keep in mind that your organization, every organization in the first world, in terms of posing themselves as a revolutionary threat, is a fucking joke. Okay, we're outnumbered 50-1 by right-wing extremist militia members. And they are a lot more sincere about what it is that they believe in and a willingness to fight for it than you are. That is why it was rightists who stormed the Capitol. That's why it was rightists who went ahead, a rightist who went ahead and attacked that FBI office in, I believe it was Ohio. Okay. In order to solve a problem, that being a lack of revolutionary potential in the first world, particularly the United States, the first thing you have to do is admit there's a goddamn problem. And that is something that people aren't willing to do. This whole unite with fascists, and yeah, fascists. If you can look at Marjorie Taylor Greene and say the woman who complained about Jewish space lasers is your ally in an issue, you're fucked in the head. There's something wrong with you. There really is something wrong with you. And this has been a major trend for probably about the last, let's say, 2-3 years, that suddenly you have to unite with the right on these things. There's a reason why you have to keep saying unite with the right. Because you don't even have liberals on your side. You don't even have the left on your side. The vast majority of the first world left aren't Marxists. And even a good portion of them are only pretending to be Marxists to begin with. You're not actually admitting what the material conditions are in the first world. And then meanwhile, the people with the most potential to become revolutionary, the lumpen proletariat, the vast majority of these people seem to think that they're illegitimate garbage. Because nothing says you're a real Marxist like defecating on lower class people. Because apparently you don't know how Marxism works. So once again, we see political opportunism. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to accomplish anything. And in 2 weeks, defund the FBI coming from the right isn't even going to exist anymore. It's going to be forgotten about. Because it's not an actual principled position that they have. They're just angrily reacting to Trump being investigated. They don't actually have any integrity. And as it stands right now, because of your constant shilling to the right wing, you don't have any integrity either. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.